They are there to protect life and property. So if they ask you, stand here, do this. Because don't tell me that they will just arrive and then police just start beating them. How? So there's this video proving that they engage the police in a wrongful manner. I'm not talking about Sekou there because I saw other people. I didn't see Sekou. All right, they moved to the police, and when they tried to push them away, they started to throw stones, jumping. You know, you often by a shot, poking your gaze anyhow. They started to make that kind of move. We shouldn't be doing these things. People have the right to assemble. That assembly got nothing to do with violence. It shouldn't have had anything to do with violence if you have just listened. You have just listened. In that house, and Joseph, we will continue to talk and talk about that house every day because the people in that house that will depend on our lawmakers, they continue to bring shame to that great place, that place of honor. They continue to bring shame. It is because of them that we had the situation that we had recently. If they had handled their own issue in a very responsible way, we wouldn't have such a situation. That house, people depend on them to settle, some issues. That's why they call them ministries and agencies every time, to question them about things about Liberia. That's a very respectable house, but they could not even put their own house in order. They build up the tension. I can tell anybody for free. If you're a Liberian and you're following what's going on in the country, you will know that they build up the tension among themselves because the issue going on between them, this is not the first time. Okay, somebody says because Kofa is trying to set a precedence, which is good. They happened before, it cannot happen now. You're trying to set a precedence. But with the way things are going now, the precedents will be covered by, it will be, it will be covered by anger, violence, and all of these things. So the precedents will not be shown. What you want to set for yourself or what you want to set for the next generation to come, what you want to correct that was not possible before, all of these things will not be able to show now because of the kind of violence that we are experiencing right now.
And I think that when you want to set precedents, it should be void of violence. There has been report from the police. Yesterday, I interviewed the president-elect of the Liberia National Bar Association, and he claimed that some lawyers also complained that their vehicles were destroyed from protesters who gathered.
Yeah, because they're up Capitol Hill, same place. Yeah.
So there are two of the lawyers claimed that their vehicles were, destroyed by the protesters. So we're trying to say that it is important to protest, but it should be in a peaceful manner. And I think the police also has a shared responsibility in this. They should ensure that no matter what, there should be proportional force in order to protect life and property, And the police claiming they said what we did was just in order to restore law and order. Yes, that is so key as well, to restore law and order. But we should encourage gathering, and we should also have a responsibility as people to, be peaceful. Now, we've seen in time past that people are arrested on protest scenes, and sometimes they are only jail for a few days, and when they are released, we don't see any follow-up on what happened in terms of pursuing the case to ensure that the people who committed the crime, that they are prosecuted for what they did. For example, Kalasco and others who were arrested recently. We want to see that this should not, the bond should not be the end of it. If you accuse this person of committing a crime, you should ensure that the case go to trial and that you provide the evidence that this person did this, so that they are prosecuted for what they did.
So the bond is just to remove them from behind bars for a particular time. But they will have to come for questioning.
But Olive, usually after the bond, or usually when people are free,
that's how it should be done.
We saw here that Mo Ali was arrested, incarcerated, but nothing went further. We didn't see anything going further. We saw other people who were arrested, but nothing went further. We have seen a lot of people being arrested, but the case does not go anywhere. Olive.
So sometimes it just look like you're just trying to
prove a point.
Put handcuff on the person,
put them behind bar, and that is it.
But then again, the crimes that they pointed out from the protesting, they agree. They should look into it.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see, because Olive, the facts will usually come out during trial, because you go into the court, you're not just going to say, oh, the person did this. You have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. You provide hardcore evidence that this person was there. This is what the person did while they were at the protest. You have to prove that. But usually they will just arrest. We don't want to see that happening this time. When you arrest somebody and accuse them of a crime, you should make sure to prove
even
that
when there's a bond.
Yeah.
The lawyer should be able to bring them to court whenever the need be. That way we can understand that there's an investigation. When the president spoke, he spoke in a very serious tone. That was my first time, hearing him. Sometimes when he speaks, he talk low and, very cool. But then he tried to put, when somebody, yeah, he was actually angry. And then I understood his statement very differently. But people say he just assumed that somebody did it. No. He said, we'll investigate this thing. The clip is there. Sometimes when somebody speak, you just look for the one that makes you feel okay and talk about it. That is not cool. He said, if somebody is responsible, he didn't say that somebody put in place. No. So people is wondering with the fact that he said, if somebody is, behind this, they should be investigated, stuff. They would take action. So they just running with that part that he said that, but he did not just uprightly say that somebody went in place and must find a person. No. If it is established that somebody, I think that's how he plays it. If it is established that somebody did this, we will take our action. So it's good. Since he have said it, sometimes when your father talking in the house, everybody can say everything lightly, but when your father talk now, you should take it seriously. And I hope that the action he talk about, maybe if they do their own investigation, they come up with the fact, maybe they say electrical fault. Sometimes the fire people know what I'm talking about, all kind of fault in these things. These things. But if it's established that somebody actually set that place on fire, that person should not go unpunished. Even the Liberian people, we are willing to see that person not going unpunished. Chokon did a report where that building was built by Todman. Yes. It's over 60 years now. And somebody or whatever shock or wherever, we were waiting for the investigation, just brought that entire place down. It's concerning to all of the Liberian people, not only...
We want to know what happened.
Liberian people want to know.
We want to know, and as everyone continue to call for investigation, that it be investigated, urgency must be attached to it.
To the investigation.
It shouldn't be something that will linger for time, and we cannot know. And just
Inshallah,
like that, the Liberian way. I know sometimes these investigations will take time, but also given the attention, because this is very much severe. We are having this, and I like to mention this also during the Christmas. The Christmas lighting of the Christmas.
You read the rates for Segu?
I didn't read it. It has, Julius Clarence have been talking about that.
They have posted it, but there are so many. They talk about something on his page. So I think it's more than just the protest scene. Like what happened to Mo before. I think something was posted on his page, and then
he has been mobilized. Yes, he has been mobilizing people on social media for protest action.
Okay.
That's one of the things that they talk about.
Okay.
Leading to that. So we're running out of time. So
that's what time.
During the lighting of the Christmas tree, I was there. The president delivered a statement, and in that statement, the president talked about that the burning of that place also. Emphasizing what he said earlier.
The same day, right?
Yeah, it was the same day what he said earlier. And called on the Ministry of Public Works and other relevant institutions of government to, assess the scale of the damage and what will be required to rebuild that area. He gave that instruction on Wednesday. So on Wednesday we got that. So what we have been looking forward to is to see an assessment report of what has happened at the Capitol, what got damaged, and what will it take to repair what got damaged. But yesterday, Olive, with a very, very urgent move, the Senate earmarked the amount of $1.8 million, which is expected to be placed in the budget for the reconstruction or rehabilitation whatsoever of the place of the joint chambers which got damaged. And I've been following a lot of people on social media have criticized that, given the urgency. The incident only happened on Wednesday. On Thursday, money has already been allocated, $1.8 million. So a lot of people have been concerned about what informed the senator's decision that we should put this amount of money. Was there any assessment? Was there anything done in order to ensure that this is what we need? Why they decided to add so much, why are they in a hurry to do that? So a lot of people have been concerned about that. And given the fact that we've had a series of problems in Liberia those problems have not been given the urgency required. One scenario, Olive, I can point to is the issue of the C.H. Rennie Hospital. Remember that hospital in Margibi County? That hospital was gutted by fire since 2021. Up to now, there is no clear information as to what has been done to reconstruct that hospital. You know how many people have been affected because of that? That was a major hospital, a major government hospital in Margibi County. Did the senators give it that urgency? They did not do that. We've seen the issue of health workers. We will also have health people here today. We've seen the issue of health workers going on strike for salary. What's the urgency that has been given to that particular matter? We are not really seeing that. We see in school, for example, you have been you have not seen the students going to school recently. So those are very serious issues as well. But if because it happened to the capital and you don't even wait for an assessment report and you begin to allocate funds, it means you only value yourself because it reflects on you directly. So you value yourself more than the people who elect you or the people whom you claim to be, your employer. And you focus more on yourself. That is not good for us. It's not good for the country. It's not good for the citizens. Every time we continue to see this from one government to another. So the lawmakers, no assessment report. They already have amount earmarked for that place. Why is that
for them? I think that's maybe the reason why they want to rush into the fixing of that place. But also, like I continue to say, every day I sit here and say that the lawmakers of Capitol Hill have given themselves too much power. They feel untouchable. A lawmaker will be elected as a representative over 6 months, and then there's a vacancy in the Senate. That guy will leave his representative seat and try to run for the Senate. When he does not win, he will come back and have a seat. All of these things, make the people to feel that, well, we can do whatever we want to do. They make the laws in favor of themselves. So that is no longer a secret. That is no longer a secret. Everybody know that. They have given themselves so much power. They have did everything possible to make them feel comfortable. Why the people who elected them feel the pinch of hardship. You talk about the hospital. People depend on that hospital. You don't get treated. And then they don't have access to medication. They don't have access to quality doctors. because most of that, parts of that hospital have been burned down. I don't even know if they're using it. I don't know if they're using part of the hospital, but it's not good. Even though, even hospitals that are fully functional, where the building is there, you have maybe beds and things for people to lie down on. There are no medications. These are things they should be, budgeting for. These are things they should be budgeting for, and they are not budgeting for these kind of things, which makes it difficult. That's why people believe that they are not working. Even if you're working, and you are working and it's not showing, that means you're not working. That's why I can always say, in this government, you see Mo Ali, I say he doing 100%, because nobody can do 100%, in a very short time. But he's working. People seeing his work and they can talk about it. Not even us journalists, but people who receiving water in their homes, people who, feeling the impact of him. They are always saying it. Amos Nana, he sits over there, no noise. Everybody buying the gas. I think I said somewhere now, everybody buying it. Even though some people say on the world market, everything have dropped. Yes, it's good. And it's good for the country. So you're hearing noise from that side. Things are, there are people who are working and the work are showing. So if you sit in the Capitol building and the people you represent can feel the reason you are there, that means you're not working. Look at the fact that, look at the budget. Fire service is seriously challenged, my brother. Fire service is challenged.
And this is something that has been happening. Just imagine what happened over there. It took fire service almost 20 minutes to get there. That's because of some of the challenges they are going through.
The truck that the people have. The truck, my brother, oh God, that thing gave up. It gave up. So you see? It make it look like they are not working, because they want to be everywhere. But then you will put small money in the budget for fire. Fire is something that can affect everybody. Be person. Fire, be person, small chat. When you're ready to enter, be person, will enter. When you're ready to enter, common main house will enter. But if it stays with the common people and it doesn't reach to a certain level, they will not want to take it serious. But this is serious. Even last night, someone was burning again. Even last night,
as we are in the dry season, we see more of these incidents. We see
these are
more
things
of
that supposed to
five incidents. So we have just been told also that we know that there was allocation made within the budget for fire service, but that has not been given. That has not been given, and I think the lawmakers also, they have this responsibility of holding the Ministry of Finance to account. And these are things that they should be putting all their time to and attaching urgency to these kind of issues, so that fire service will be able to respond to a situation. You know how many homes in this country have been gotten by fire? People's houses burned in this place. Some people are homeless, they are sleeping outside, because you have not attached urgency to ensuring that fire service is functional enough to be able to reach out to those people. But now the Capitol was gotten by fire on Wednesday. On Thursday, you're already talking about what you are putting in the budget in order to renovate
the fire service
without any assessment. Have you been able to get any report as to what this costs?
I want for somebody to call and show and say the truck is functional. It's not functional. The truck spoiled. The truck is spoiled. These are things that the government need to look into. Ministry of Finance need to look at the gasoline for the truck. They're not receiving it. For the past 4 months, I'm told. They're not receiving the gasoline for the truck. So you will see somebody will sit and say, oh, fire service, you call fire service. They want to come, but how can they come? They are incapacitated. They cannot move. They cannot come. You will call them, they get gasoline, put it. How would they feel the truck to come? For the past 4 months, they're not receiving it. Special operation funds. All right? They're not receiving it. How do they move? These are things, if you cannot do all, you cannot get all of the fire. You can't get fire trucks now. You can't get all of the things that they need, that they pour forth to the ministry. At least the major things, maybe like the gasoline for the fire truck, maybe special operation funds, repair and maintenance funds, all of these things to work on the old one are there, to maintain it, send it to garage, let the people look at it, even though this thing is supposed to be very fresh. because they need to move and move on time. All of these things, given the delay is causing serious problem for the people operation. And we can see it. But Liberian people, they need to know these things so they can know that they say, call fire service, they get fire service there. Of course, they have fire service. It's concerning to them themselves. They know that they are there and their workings are not showing because they don't have the capacity. They are incapacity. The army men working and he get going again. A weapon, he's just standing. They disarm him. So they need to look into these things because it affects everybody, Joseph. The thing they tell you is coming. You ain't even know big person name. So I'm asking them, Ministry of Finance, please help these people for to at least maintain what they have, maintenance fees, give it gasoline for them to move, move to some of the important things they talk about. Let's see how we can fight this thing, because the ordinary people feel the pinch the more. Because if you build your house and then it get burned, nobody will help you. But if government property get burned, government, you see now what we're talking about, that place, money has already been allocated for that. But if you have your personal property and burned down on you, it's for nothing. So these things, they are even trying. They went to a cell phone company where I think you can receive some messages, tips from how to manage stuff in your home. They are trying, but they need you to hold their hands. Yeah.
Okay. So let's leave it at that. We just looking at the kind of leaders we have who prioritize themselves.
In fact, fire truck is supposed to just move alone. They're supposed to also have how is it called? The fire truck is there, the water tanker is there, the ambulance. Maybe in case of a casualty, they themselves will rush them, but they will have to call other people, to come and join them. All of these things, man. Operational vehicle. Oh man.
Do you have the statement released by MCC?
Yes.
Just find it, please.
Yes, please.
So on Wednesday, the president made the announcement that he received a phone call from the board of the Millennium Challenge Compact, MCC. He made that statement on Wednesday, and that Liberia has qualified for MCC. That information came out. There has been a lot of public mixed reactions to it. Some officials of the government have claimed that we'll get 500 million. But let's listen exactly what the statement said.
So the statement says the Millennium Challenge Corporation has elected Liberia as newly eligible to develop a compact. Liberia was elected as eligible in recognition of the country's commitments to pursuing critical economic and democratic governance reforms. MCC expects all partner countries to continue to demonstrate an ongoing commitment to the principles of inclusive democratic governance and underpin MCC's eligibility criteria. Eligibility does not guarantee that Liberia will receive a compact program, and MCC and the U.S. Embassy look forward to working closely with the government of Liberia to launch the compact development progress. The size and contents of the final program is contingent on the work done in partnership between MCC and the government of Liberia, the availability of funds, and approval of the proposed program by the MCC Board of Directors. MCC is a U.S. government agency working to reduce global poverty through economic growth. Created in 2004, MCC provides time-limited grants that pair investments in infrastructure with policy and instructional reforms to countries that meet rigorous standards for good governance, fighting corruption, and respecting democratic rights. MCC is proud of our long-standing history with Liberia and is enthusiastic about embarking a new partnership to advance opportunities for the people of Liberia. So the Chief Executive Officer, Alice Albright.
So this statement is released by the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, embassy, yes.
So this is the one released by the embassy.
Yes.
After MCC also released a statement, which we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, this is from the U.S. Embassy.
So this is the one from the U.S. Embassy is what you just read there. So MCC released a statement first. So let me
go to it. But there's a point in when you finish with that, so we can go into.
So this is what MCC released on yesterday, because the president spoke on Wednesday. So following that, MCC also released. So this is it. The Millennium Challenge Compact's MCC Board of Directors selected Liberia's newly eligible to develop a compact during its quarterly meeting on December 18. Liberia was selected in recognition of the progress the country has made to strengthen its performance on the MCC scorecard and the country's commitment to pursuing critical economic and democratic governance reforms. The board also discussed the new opportunities that the Millennium Challenge Corporation Candidate Country Reform Act provides for MCC. MCC is proud of our long-standing history of Liberia and is enthusiastic about embarking on a new partnership to advance opportunities for the people of Liberia, said MCC's Chief Executive Officer Alice Albright. As part of its annual discussion on country selection, MCC board also reviewed the policy performance of previously selected eligible countries. In doing so, MCC's board re-selected Cabo Verde and Senegal to continue developing regional compacts, the Gambia to continue compact development, and the Philippines to continue developing a threshold program, while Tanzania was also re-selected to continue developing a threshold program. The board expressed concern about reports of disappearances, a rise in political violence, and restrictions on freedom of peace, assembly, and the press. The board noted that Tanzania has an opportunity to open political space and advance democratic reforms, and urged the government to take steps to strengthen the protection of democratic freedoms ahead of national elections in 2025. However, the board differed on Togo Compact re-selection vote to provide the government additional time to take meaningful actions to strengthen protections for democratic rights and fundamental freedoms as it transition to a new system of government next year. Finally, the board received an update on Mozambique and discussed concerns about the October 2024 elections and post-election violence. The board noted its intention to closely monitor developments in the country, including the forthcoming Constitutional Council ruling. MCC and the board expect all partner countries to demonstrate an ongoing commitment to the principles of inclusive democracy. On successes in recent years are slated to benefit nearly 80 million people, and thanks Secretary Blinken for economic growth and good governance across the world. The Millennium Challenge Corporation is an independent U.S. government development agency working to reduce global poverty through economic growth. Created in 2004, MCC provides time-limited grants that pair investments in infrastructure with policy and institutional reforms to countries that meet rigorous standards for good governance, fighting corruption, and respecting democratic rights. So that was the statement released yesterday. Before what Olive read, the one released by the U.S. Embassy. And Olive, what you read is something of explaining what this statement is, informing but giving some explanation about what this statement means, because the U.S. embassy is here, so they know what is going on, what people have been saying. We've been seeing the government share. Oh, we get five some government officials.
So you just read the whole statement from MCC. I didn't see the place where I'm looking for where for the understanding of the people, the 500 million.
No, there's nothing.
Because I was following while you're reading.
There's nothing like that indicated in the statement. Nothing of such. So, and there's a line in that, maybe you could read it again, that the U.S. embassy is saying that it doesn't mean that you qualify. So just read that line
I'm coming.
again.
I'm coming.
So, because it provides clarity to what some people are saying. This is a good initiative. We are on track, but it doesn't mean that
we want money
we've
now.
already reached,
Of
like
course.
people who are sharing.
Everybody want money, but we have to take our time. Sometimes you raise the bar, you raise the expectation of people, and then maybe they expect that's more money over there.
Yeah.
They will be expecting more from even the government, and you put them in a situation where they cannot explain themselves to the people. The people will believe that they are corrupt, they have eaten the money because they are not seeing this money. So if you are eligible, that's a good thing. But then again, don't raise the expectation of people, because if the government receive that money, I will expect something. I will expect to see something different. Mm-hmm. We have bad roads that need to be looked at. We have hospitals that's supposed to be looked at. We got that fire service we're just talking about. Mm-hmm. All of these things need to be tackled. So if you say you come and get that money now, then that means our expectation will be high. Mm-hmm. So the part of this thing that is concerning, MCC expects all partners countries to continue to demonstrate an ongoing commitment to the principles of inclusive democratic governance that underpin MCC's eligibility criteria. Eligibility does not guarantee that Liberia will receive a compact program. When you're eligible, it means
you already got it.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's something that we need to clarify so people can understand. MCC and the U.S. Embassy look forward to working closely with the government of Liberia to launch the compact development process. So if you're eligible, based on they expect all partners countries to continue to demonstrate an ongoing commitment to the principles. So you have to follow the principles of the MCC, of inclusive democratic governance and underpinned MCC eligible criteria. So you have to follow all of these things before you can get the money. You're eligible. So I mean, you enter the process already, but then you have to follow all of these things to allow you to go through all of the process.
We still have a process ahead.
Yeah, there's a process.
And let me state here for a fact that the government officially, from the president or the Ministry of Information, has not said that they will get 500 million. They didn't say that. The president did not even mention that. And there are some, supporters of the government who are
running with it,
with that, posting it. So I want to clarify, make that clear. But the president also stated that what we qualify will be more, what we have qualified for will be more than what we got in 2015, because we qualified for a compact in 2015. So he's sending a signal also that we already got money on the way.
We are eligible.
We are already qualified to get money. So the U.S. Embassy is saying no.
Yeah, the process has not been done.
No, you qualify for a compact yet. You are at the eligibility criteria. So which means there are other countries and you competing. So maybe based on the development of your compact, and it will have in our statement also that it will have to go back to the board. After it developed,
the whole process,
it will have to go back to the board, and the board will have to censure and say, okay, we agree with this. So we'll give Liberia this amount. We give Liberia this amount. So
who even calling it 500
I don't know what the 500 million came from, or how it came about.
Or when you're eligible, you are expected to get 500 million. Is that what they want us to believe? But there's no money mentioned.
No, there's
in the entire
it depends. It depends on the type of compact. All countries do not receive the exact amount.
So what process have we entered into? At least these are things that's supposed to be telling us. We are into the other process, and after this process, when we should have passed through all of the MCC's rules and everything, we will have this money. Because of the process, we will receive 500 million. Because of this process, we'll receive 100 million. Stuff like that.
Let's take few calls. Our guests are already here. The numbers are 0777-995-0555-995-995. And as was, sometimes when you rush to break news, sometimes you don't do it well, and people do not understand what you're talking about. So let's take this one. Good morning. You're live. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
This is Josh calling from.
Please elevate your voice more, please. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yes, please.
Always my heart went to the police people. Always.
Your heart went to the police people?
Yes.
What happened?
I say my heart is to the police people. They don't know how to talk to the protector.
Oh, okay. That's the first point we talk about. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Always, if the protector is trying to protect, they have the chance to talk to the people that want to protect them, but they can't do it.
Okay.
They can't do it all the time.
Okay, so your point is police must learn how to talk to police. To protesters.
Yeah. You always call it love for them. Say who is love for them, but they can't do it.
Okay.
I remember when in class, something happened in the film. People start trying to get their own time of this film.
All right. Thank you. Let's hold you there and take this one. Good morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
Yes, please lower the volume of your radio.
I'm sorry. Good morning, my sister Olive.
Good morning.
Let's hear you, please.
Yes, I listen to the conversation. Just my brother, my president of Waka, is officials have got to be careful with the way in which they steal information. You understand? We all want the best for our country. But to see, things not being consummated yet in the glass and I think it is not good. For example, we know what happened to the machine here. We know what happened to the issue of the $25 million. What happened to the general forces? You understand? We think us as Nigerians want the best of our country. No one has been praying for bad things to happen to the country. Then you see something on the citizen. But to see that thing being consummated, what does the listen to our own national yesterday in the person of the president for the 500 million. You understand? So we have to be careful about
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Let's read this one. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Olive, and good morning to the
Yes, go ahead, please.
This morning.
Wow, we're doing well. Go ahead, please.
Okay. This is Darren Dallas Brooks. And I'm calling from around the airfield this morning. I've been listening to you guys, with analysis, people have their own economic issues. It got me interested to at least look into the issue that has to do with, the president's statement towards the burning of the capital building and the lawmakers' action. And again, to tap into the Millennium Challenge compact issue.
All of these still in the business. Yeah, you have to go to the point. We don't have time.
The one I catch your hand,
just go straight to it.
Yeah.
So quickly. You see, I always said that the president sounds so, good, and then it seems to be serious. Yes, it seems to be serious because the president already assumed in himself that the person or the people stated the burning of the capital building, I believe to be the opposition. So that one of the things that the president bill right there. Because if you listen to the president, he's told, he's got to even describe the character, that carry on that particular act, how they are hooligans, all of those things. The president decided to release voice. So that right there, it put him in a position that he never again
But what he said we don't have this place is not for hooligans. So do we have space for hooligans?
But hello, 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 hello. Yeah, we should not try to read people's minds here because you don't know what is in the mind of the president when he spoke. You can say, oh, he already envisioned that opposition did it. No, you cannot. So you're reading minds now? Are you reading minds now? No, I will not allow you to learn. You have to answer. Are you reading minds now? I will give you time, but you have to be clear now. You reading minds? You said you're already establishing the president's mind. You don't say that. Some people even claiming that even people from the Unity Party burn a place.
Okay. Thank you. You may have just few seconds. Okay, let's hold you there and take this one. Our guest can come in now. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Sama take a from Providence is 17, 11 to go to Excellency President Walker and Private Charles the manager. So I'm appreciative for the discussion, but here is my point, right? The government officials are not in no wrong to say Liberia has been selected when it comes to the Million Challenge Compass. But someone could be in a wrong to say Liberia has won a 500 million that is in question. But here is my thing. If LeBron is qualified for African Cup of Nations or World Cup, the whole country will celebrate. So how wrong with government officials saying there are competition or there is competition in a continent that LeBron
did we say it was wrong for pronouncement to be made of our government officials? What we say, maybe they didn't get it. What we are saying is that there are some supporters or some officials of the government who are claiming that Liberia has won 500 million from the Millennium Challenge Corporation. And we read a statement here from the U.S. Embassy clarifying that we've not reached that far yet. That's what we are saying.
There are two key officials of government that I follow regularly. In fact, on the record, I think Ali was the first to post. I did not say anything wrong.
Okay.
You say Liberia have passed or Liberia have been selected. Even to follow, you say Liberia have passed in 500 million.
Okay, but for we get following the two prices. We have to hold you there. Sorry, we don't have time now. Sorry. Let's.
We can just squeeze in this one.
Okay. Quickly, just the last one. Yeah, take it.
Okay. We
don't have the person again. All right, so let's take this commercial break. We come back strictly. We go to our guests who are already here this morning, and we will continue to talk more on the OK Morning Rush on OK FM 99.5 with me, Joseph Daniels, and Olive Stevenson here with you. This break quickly.
Good news, my people, good news. Salary advance from SIB Bank. Get money from SIB while waiting for your next salary. This is for any customer whose salary passes through the bank. You don't need a collateral. You can pay off with your next salary, either in US dollars or Liberian dollars, depending on the denomination of the salary account. Terms and conditions apply. SIB, taking banking to a new level.
Okay, welcome back to the OK Morning Rush on OK FM 99.5. Joseph Daniels and Olive Stevenson presentation here with you this morning. Okay, so let's start this morning. We have been having this issue of health workers across the country. We've gotten report from Bummy, from Grand Bassa, from Margibi, from Nimba, about some health workers going on strike. So this morning to learn more about what is going on, we have here the National Health Workers Union of Liberia, NAU, and they issue a statement distancing themselves from this particular ongoing strike. We have Demi T. Diezra. He is the acting secretary general of NAU. We also have here Simon A. Morris. He's the chaplain. So this morning we'll be discussing. So good morning to you, gentlemen. Welcome to the program.
First day fly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I'm grateful to be here this morning.
So let's just match the name with the face. You can just say who you are for the camera.
Okay, my name is Dimi T. Diezra. I am the acting secretary general, National Health Workers Union of Liberia, but I've been around as an assistant since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm an old guy in the business.
Okay. Let's hear from you.
All right, I'm a Reverend Senior
Government.
Morris,
Reverend?
Yeah.
Okay.
the Chaplain General of the National Health Worker Union.
Anybody?
Okay.
And also, I'm the leader of the Redemption Health Worker Union.
Redemption. Okay. So that means you work with Redemption.
Yeah.
Where do you work?
I'm at the secretariat because I have to coordinate the 10,000 plus people in the 15.
Wow, that's a very huge job. So how is it working with 10,000 health workers across the country?
Well, the challenge is huge, and because your phone will, once it goes off, they think you are not receptive. So we have to try as much as possible to be answerable to almost all of them.
Okay. So we wanted to at least talk about your organization. What are you made of, and what have you been engaged with?
Okay. Thank you. The National Health Workers Union of Liberia is the conglomeration of all of the health workers that are in this country. We have the responsibility to seek their welfare and at the same time make sure that public services are of quality. And that is why we have always spoken for the availability of drugs and medical supplies to our people, the working condition be improved so that we don't put phone in our mouth to do our starting our IV lines, but also to make to call on government so that things like the accommodation that is being that is a challenge for our people who are in the rural areas, transportation package for people who are in Monrovia to be able to return, to come to work on time. But most importantly, nothing goes on without money. So in order for us to achieve a quality public service, these things have to be taken into consideration so that when you go to work, you are motivated to put in all of what you have to put in. So over the years, we have engaged successive governments, especially from Madam Sirleaf administration up to now. But again, it depends on who has the gavel to the state. There are people who are interested in listening to us for us to make progress, because the union is an institution that believes in dialogue from the tripartite position at the ILO. It is the government, the worker, and the employer. Fortunately for us, I don't know whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, those of us who are in the public service, government play a dual role. That is both employer and government. So it's tripartite on the paper, but when it comes to this kind of job, government play a dual role.
Okay, that's great. So let's get straight into it. Recently, we've been hearing health workers who have interviewed some health workers on the radio here talking about their issues, and that came from the fact that the government announced some increments in the salaries for those in the health sector, and some of the health workers believe that this is not good. Looking at, there was a reclassification policy, and that reclassification policy, this government is not following it. So they decided to call for a strike. And you say you are not part of that. Why?
Thank you. In the first place, we are interested in quote-unquote reclassification. We are interested, when I say we, the NAU is interested in salary increment. NAU is interested in settling the disparity in salary. What we have disagreed is the methodology that is being applied by some of these workers. And you cannot be in a negotiation and you go on strike. Because the government did not get up to say they want to do this thing for us. When Minister Poto took over, she invited us February 16, 2024. Before we went in that meeting, all of the different associations, those we have heard, some of them, we had a meeting together and we agreed on key points. Those points were not new, like what I've just listed. And that was being from one government to the other. So we all agreed and went to the meeting. We did a presentation nicely, and she said she was willing to work with us. So if you saw what Minister Gafuan sent or presented, it is in line because we have been engaging the government. But then they are saying that what is being provided, it is not adequate. But I have to give you the genesis of what happened. Sometimes you come to the public domain, you don't have to wash all of your dirty clothes. CDC, in as much as they won 14 out of the 15 counties, we started on a good note on February 8, 2018. President Weah invited, former President Weah invited us at his office, CC Dennis Auditorium, and we discussed nicely, and he saw what we were making. But the last 6 years that he was in charge, he did not add anything. What came to us was that
add anything. There was nothing added.
I tell you, I challenge anybody who will call to say, President, we are added to us apart from the doctors that Mr. Tua was always talking about.
It was only the doctors.
It was only the
but
doctors.
Nurses were not affected.
Yes, and I there are tons of information, and I have to take my own time.
Okay.
We do not jealous. That is the people, those of us who are the lower rank. We do not jealous the doctors. The doctors are the ceiling of the medical profession, so they deserve something bigger than us. But what we have said all along is that give us something that commensurate with the services that we are providing. So all the 6 years, what you heard Minister Tua saying all along is that they raised doctor from hundreds to thousands, 2,000. He was always saying it. But as of November 3rd, 2020, the government decided not to talk with the union. And what was the reason? The reason was that we have been consistent in requesting that we go through the rightful path. Take, for instance, our people were denied, they were given notice for, for their pensioning, only when they got to the bank. And we pressed them. Mr. Tua was in one of those meetings. And at the end of the day, they said it was wrong. Because the Civil Service Agency provided you should give a 3-month notice. And the people, 2 months after, they didn't get their salary when they went to collect the salary for February. That was the time they told them that, you have been pensioned. So we fought this case. That involved doctors, pharmacists, in the different categories of people. They were between 600 to 700 people. And Minister Tua said the people need to get their money. That was the first disagreement that we had with the Ministry of Health official when Dr. Jala was in charge. The second disagreement was that when COVID-19 money came, we talked it over with them again. And that money issue was, they didn't want to do it. And we were talking until they finally said, okay, we will spread it around all of the health workers. We agree. But when time to disburse the money, what they did, interestingly, was to exclude non-clinical people. That is support staff. And you know support staff, they have got their role to play in the health sector. You're talking about accounting, legal department, cleaner, driver, all of those people. So majority, if not all of non-clinical people did not get that money. That was the second disagreement that we had with the previous minister. Moving forward now, they decided not to talk with us. And they decided to play the divide and rule method. And the way they succeeded was to call the very people who are now saying, let's go on strike. They were dealing with them. And so, as a result, they were now pitching this divide political agenda within the union. They did not talk to us until they left office. All of the reclassification that I said we supported was not shared with us as we speak, as a umbrella institution. So where are we with it? We don't have an idea, but we have advanced that conditions need to be improved. There now, because of the way the trend they are taking, I want to outline it so that you get a clear picture. Our honorable senator for Moserado, he went to write his friends in the Senate that health workers need to be given attention. He was the chair on executive for the 6 years. He never spoke about our condition. Why our salary was slashed. First of all, it was harmonized, which should not have been the case. After it was harmonized, the balance that left was still being slashed. But because when we write the Ministry of Health for explanation, they were not provided it. So everybody said, okay, let their will be prevailed. And that is how you didn't hear from us in the last few years, because you can only initiate dialogues for somebody who is willing to talk with you. If I tell you hello, you tell me hello, then we can talk. But if I speak to you and you don't mind me, so what is the point? And with consultation across the country, we felt that there will be a time that we'll still go back to the drawing table. Today, what those things did not happen in 6 years, because we had a meeting with President Weah and we gave him sufficient time, because he told us there was a need for us, all of us, to reason together to move the country forward. So we waited for President Weah to act, and he did not act. Even our friends who are from the Southeast, who felt disenchanted, last year wanted to take action. The very group that have been here have been talking about pushing this agenda, where who were going from one radio station to the other to say we should not have action because negotiation is going on. You said it yesterday, people were aggrieved. Today we have a perfect opportunity because the people are talking with us.
But you say a perfect opportunity, but there are concerns that you are not receiving much audience from the angle of the Ministry of Finance, despite the Ministry of Health reaching out and giving them clear information about the reclassification.
Well, I found it a little strange to say it did not reach to them, because you cannot go to Ministry of Finance without the involvement of Ministry of Health, because Ministry of Health is the custodian of all of our activities. So it has to come from them before it go to Finance. Mm-hmm. And so, in my opinion, Finance did not talk in an oblivion. They might consult or they might have tete-a-tete with the Ministry of Health. Okay. While we are here, we don't want for anybody to misconstrue that we are agents of whichever group. Now we have been very independent, and that is why successive government know us to be what we are. Okay. But the thing about it is that you cannot be on a negotiating table and you go for action, especially so when clarity, some level of clarity has been provided. We believe that dialogue is the solution, because even if you stay out, you will still go back on the table.
Do you have a policy? Maybe you'd like to come in with that.
No, go on.
Okay. Do you have a reclassification policy that was agreed upon during the last administration?
Well, from where I stayed as a union, at the union secretariat, I will tell you no. All of the discussion, I told you that the government that passed was instituting divide and rule method. With all the discussion they had, they selected few association leaders. Mm-hmm. They went and discussed with them.
So the National Health Workers Union was not part of any discussion?
Not at all. Even as we speak, those our constituents who are now complaining, they had not made an attempt. Because we have been in meetings several times. When we ask, where is this document?
So those institutions that held the meeting with the health minister or the health ministry, then are they legitimate health workers? Who spoke with them?
We are the one, and they were there in the meeting. We were the one, and the minister only asked us that, look, we don't have much time.
I'm talking about the past government.
Yeah.
The reclassification policy, because I have seen a policy that health workers who've interviewed here talk about there was a policy set up in order to reclassify health workers, and that's what they are pushing for. They want that particular document to be the document that will be used by this government in terms of whatsoever benefits that they're supposed to get as health workers. But that is not being used. So I'm asking you, does that document exist, and was there any forum held with health workers in Liberia to craft such a document?
The answer I will give you is this. They said that they had a meeting. I told you already that the government was on quote unquote divide and rule method. So they did not share with us. And even the way they were trying to I don't want to use the word favor, because they were pushing their agenda through these different associations. So we did not participate in all of the discussion. The only time that document was actually signed was before the presidential runoff. We have to be clear. If you stay in office for 6 years and you say that what we were making was small, and you working with the other group for us to make improvement, why did you wait at the 11th hour? And the 11th hour, you did not make it holistic. So as we speak, we were not involved. The National Health Workers Union was not involved in any of those discussions. So, but we are saying that while we want to see the improvement of our members in terms of remuneration, it was important that we share, all of us talk about it. So as we speak right now, we still insist that our people deserve better pay. But the methodology that is being applied is what we disagree with.
Okay. Now let me come to Simeon so he can join in the conversation as well. There's this concern that the health workers are not asking for increase in their pay, because those of whom we've interviewed, that's what they have said. They are not asking for additional or huge amount. What they are calling for is that there's a policy that they need to, because there are some health workers who are already making more than other health workers. So in order to balance the situation, they should be able to follow the reclassification policy to ensure that people who are already up there, you don't continue to give money. For example, somebody who is making 400 and another person making 150, the money should go to the person who makes the 150 instead of adding up the person who makes the 400. Those are legitimate concern, don't you think so?
100%, I agree with just what you said. From our angle,
just lift the mark a little bit. Okay.
Better.
Okay.
I agree with what you just said. 100%. The salary disparity will be the order of the day, not just within the health sector, the entire government. The issues are, we need to understand where we came from. And we also knew that a Rome does not build in a daytime. That is our point. 100% support of the reclassification, pay by your qualifications and your grade, which are being pushed by our brothers from the association angle. But the issue of this reclassification document you are talking about was signed on October last year, October 20. And moreover, the National Health Workers Union of Liberia will never any know of this document, just as my boss have said. That was divide rule method that was applied in order for them to accomplish certain gain, which I cannot able to elaborate on that right now. But however, from us, we do believe that there be equal pay with equal job. If you are BSNS, also me, we should make the same money. That's what we believe. But what escalated the tension was, I think 2-3 weeks ago, the tapping up announcement that was made by the finance ministry. It escalated the tension. We must be real. We here do not even believe that you should increase. But what we are saying is that you should classify everybody. I should make what I support, I deserve to make. But the time of the strike action that what we personally are against, it's not timely, because this government opened up for conversation and discussion so that we see how best we can resolve the issue. in what any other on the other side, assuming they were adamant to listen to us, we will have a point. But they had never refused to listen to us. Whenever we call on meeting, they all appear and we discuss issues. But we keep telling our brothers and sisters, let hold on. There is a time. But their fear was the budget was supposed to be passed yesterday. And our minister said that they're going to be tapping off $50, $25 to $40, which personally I disagree with. Honestly, let me be able to you. We don't want tap up. We want reclassification. How can it be done? Through dialogue. Let's continue to talk. Let's continue to negotiate, but not by striking. Guess what happened yesterday? The association who moved from place to place, shutting the hospital down. The vice president for operation of the Liberal Nursing Association brought somebody to the detention yesterday. I allowed to enter. I went to, you came here a day first, they said you shut the hospital down. But here are you. Assuming rejection is shut down. Where was you going to carry your sister? Yes, that was my aunt. Yeah, actually, I hope she's listening to me. We said no, she not shut the hospital down because not just about us.
And her sister was rushed there.
She also brought her sister there yesterday.
Oh.
But you asked her to shut the hospital down day for yesterday. Take it to retention hospital. Allowed to enter in the midst of the doctors and the nurses. I said, J Flow, say yes. But where are you? Why are you here? You asked her to shut the hospital down yesterday. You came here. But here you this morning, you are here with your sister, crying profusely. I think I need like this is our point. Let dialogue instead of risking the life of our people. Because trial is not for one person, it's not for rat alone. But yesterday, what happened? Let her come and debunk me what I'm saying here. These are the issues.
Okay. Yes, so it's actually a strong stance to close a hospital down. But some of the concerns that they are raising, they are genuine, like Joseph said. Like everybody is saying, genuine concerns. There are health workers who make very little that cannot even take them back home. So since you are the person who sits over 10,000 health workers, what are your own push? Like I heard from my brother, there have been dialogues and all of these things. What has been your own push for them and what is happening? Because he also said the government is open to listen to you guys. So what are the something like improvements so far based on your own dialogue with the government?
Thank you. And so, apart from government, Liberia is a little bit different in the sense that when you discuss with people, sometimes your idea is not accepted on the spot. But when you go later on, they add on it. And for what we are interested in is to see results. And the result that we see that, look, anything without me in a discussion may not probably be for me. Maybe I come from where people like to eat rice, and then you carry a fufu or something. So the ministry and all have been discussing. First thing is that we ask them for transportation. I want to step by step. And the transportation issue, the government said they were willing to provide transportation because we said those are some of the factors that have led our people going to work late. But they said they didn't have the cash because of, what has happened in the past, credibility issue, all of that. Donors were now passing their money through NGOs. But they have a project and that buses, they are working on it for the buses for the urban workers. Details are still there for us to work out because we want to see tangible, we want to see timeline. We talk about rural workers accommodation. They said that they will provide cash, but cash value will lose over the time. Okay. And therefore, $40 yesterday, for instance, it will not be $40 in 2-3 years' time for you to get an apartment up country. So they have embarked upon a program to construct dwelling places for our members. All right. And that will start in January 2025. They have asked the Ministry of Health to identify 3 counties that you want to start with. We have also been involved in negotiation with them, telling them, look, in time past, when these projects are elevated, or we talk nicely about it, they carry substandard material. Sometimes, by the time you go look, the project just come to a standstill. How can we be involved to ensure that this project will be delivered on time? Those were the conversation. When it came to salary disparity, reclassification and salary increment, I put it in one nutshell. Not final, but civil service agencies saying that the way we see reclassification is not the way they see it. They believe that your position is reclassified when it becomes redundant. For instance, if you were in a hospital and the hospital is no longer supplying food, they have hired another institution to provide the food. All of this, the kitchen staff, their position has become redundant, meaning that they will give you now a new training. Maybe you become security, you'll be a housekeeping person, you will be in the record room. That is what, in their opinion, is the reclassification. But what they intend to do, quote unquote, we are talking about today, is that if you started as a nurse aide and today you are a registered nurse or you are a bachelor, they will bring you to the level of that where you are performing your duty now. Okay. And that is how they see it, and that quote unquote reclassification as the terminology that we are sticking to. That is how they want to balance it. So what they have done, for instance, right now is that for one particular category, they see that a good number of them are making maybe 300, but majority are making below 300. And there are few people who are like above 300. So they bring all of the people who are below 300 to 300 for year one.